Guess who's back? Back again. Guess who's back? Tell a friend. Guess who's back? 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 Guess who's back?
What is up, my fellow trash eaters? It is in fact your boy, the White Trash Panda. Got a more recent story for you this time. Probably going to be a shorter video, but I will hopefully be getting more out soon. So, last Saturday, I got off work about 6 p.m., 6 at night, and I was heading up north to go visit my folks. It's about a 70-80 mile trip, something like that. So I'm on the road for, I don't know, half hour, 45 minutes. I'm about 7 or 8 miles from my exit, and I start hearing a rubbing sound when I'm going around curves on the highway. So the air dam on the front of my truck, on the bottom underneath the bumper, it's loose on one side, it's hanging down. I just haven't gotten around to securing it yet, so I figured it might have been rubbing against the tire when I was going around curves because of the wind, whatever. Didn't think it was a big deal. I figured once I got to my exit, I would pull over and get out and give it a look, see what's happening. Maybe stop at a store and get some zip ties and try and secure it in place. A couple miles later, about 4 or 5 miles from my exit, my tire blows. Just complete blowout. Wasn't really sure what was happening. I mean, I knew my tire was gone. I could feel it. So the truck starts getting squirrely. I'm correcting. I take my foot off the gas. I'm trying to just gradually slow down. And it starts fishtailing a bit. I'm correcting. And it starts spinning out in one direction to the left. I was in the far right lane, and it starts spinning out to the left. I feel it swinging around. I'm correcting. And then it starts to spin out the other way, to the right. The next thing I know, I'm spinning around, complete circle, basically, almost 360. While I'm spinning, the truck shuts off. Tripped a collision sensor, I guess. I'm not really sure. Came close to rolling there for a moment. Fortunately, I have several sandbags in the bed of my truck. I think the extra weight kept me on the ground. Come to a stop about 50 feet from a ditch and about 3 feet from a reflector pole. No damage to the truck whatsoever other than the tire. At this point, I'm thinking maybe the rim might be damaged from sliding on the concrete. I'm not really sure though. So I take a moment to calm down. My heart's racing. I'm not panicked, but it's a pretty intense situation. My heart's racing a little bit. Tell him what happened. Call the tow truck. Get all that taken care of. I'm sitting there a good 10 minutes probably, waiting on this tow truck. And all of a sudden, an EMS pulls up out of nowhere. Like, okay, I didn't call for this. This is weird. So I get out and start walking up to them. They get out and they're asking me questions. I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. It's not hurt at all. Just a little shaken up, yada yada. and they immediately get dispatched to another call up the road. And it was totally sunny day, relatively warm, pretty warm. It was like 70, in the 70s, mid 70s probably. Really nice day, no wind to speak of. So they head off on this other call. I go back to my truck. I'm doing my thing, just kind of waiting around tow truck. And I see a sheriff vehicle pull up. I get out, I walk over to them, and a female officer gets out. I'm talking to her, explaining the situation. Yeah, I'm fine. Not hurt at all, not a scratch, just, this happened, blah, blah, blah. Don't know why the tire blew. This and that. She says she'll wait there with me as long as she can. Like, all right, that's cool. I appreciate that. Looking out, doing your job, protecting, serving, all of that. She was pretty cute, too, for a cop. that's neither here nor there. Total aside. So while I'm sitting there talking to the female officer and just like, yeah, at least it's a nice day, blah, blah, blah. Then the tow truck pulls up. So I go over and talk to him. And he asked me if I can pull the truck out more because I came to a stop totally in the grass, facing directly at the roadway. Tow truck driver's asking me if I can pull the truck out so we can get easier access to it to hook it up and put it on the flatbed. I can't. I tell him it won't start. I'm like, I hand him the keys. I'm like, you're welcome to try it if you want. But he sticks the key in there. He's like, nope, won't start. He goes and gets in his truck, backs it up more, hooks up the chains to the front of my truck. Like, I'm gonna have to drag it out. I'm like, do what you gotta do, man. So he's doing all that. I go back over and talk to the female officer again. And while I was talking to the tow truck driver, another sheriff officer showed up. So they're both standing there. If you are new to this channel, check out my other video, Crazy Driving Stories Part 1. And this gave me an opportunity to plug my YouTube channel to both of them. If either of you are listening, thank you. I appreciate you coming out and checking on me at the scene of my accident, my one-man accident. Thank you especially to the female officer for staying with me so long and offering to give me a ride if I needed it. The tow truck driver finishes loading my vehicle and comes over. The female officer walks up to him and asks him if he can give me a ride or if she needs to. And the truck driver says, yeah, no problem. You can come with me. So I go over and I thank the officers for the offer, for their time, all of that. I go and get in the tow truck, and the first thing I notice is there is a tiny Yoda figurine on the dash. At some point during the short trip, I commented on it to the driver, and he's like, "Yeah, oh, yeah." There's he's like, "Notice that, did you? Did you see the big one on the back?" I'm like, no. we get to we get to the shop where I'm dropping my truck off, and the I get out and I go and look around the back of the truck, and lo and behold, there was a large Baby Yoda painted on the back of the truck, kind of looking over top of the company logo. That was pretty cool. My dad came and picked me up, and I had to spend the weekend with them. Couldn't get a new tire until Monday. Monday morning, I call up the shop, let them know why the truck is there, explain the whole thing. He's like, "All right, I'll get to it as soon as I can." Calls me back about an hour later, tells me he doesn't have my tire in stock, the size that I need, and he won't be able to get it in until the next day. Like, well, that doesn't really work because I need to get back to work. I'm too far away. So I start calling around to other shops, other tire stores, and eventually I find one that can get it that afternoon. So I arrange for that, go about my day. Later that afternoon, it was supposed to be there. The tire was supposed to show up around 3 or 3:30. Getting close to 4 o'clock, and I'm starting to get nervous because the other shop's gonna close. So I go to my dad. I'm like, "All right, we should just head down there. It's about a 20-minute drive to where the truck was. But we should just go now. They'll probably call while we're on the way, and we can just maximize efficiency and make sure we get there before the other shop closes." He agrees, and right before we walk out the door, my phone rings, and my tire is at the shop. So we drive down, pick up my tire from the one shop, head over to the other shop where the truck is. It's only about 5 minutes away. I get there. It's 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 like 4:55 when I walk in the door, and the guy comes up front from the shop, and he's like, "Hey, what can I do for you?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm here with the tire for the Dakota." He's like, "You called me just as I was closing." I'm like, he goes, "Do you need it today?" Like, "Yeah, I kind of do. I already had to miss one day at work." So it's like, "All right." Takes it back, and it's the fastest service I've ever had, I swear. Like, the fastest tow ever, and the fastest service at a tire shop ever. Within less than 10 minutes, he's pulling around front in my truck with the new tire on there. He comes in and to cash me out, and I'm apologizing profusely for holding him over and this and that. Like, I know how it is, man. Like, how bad I know how bad it sucks when someone walks in at the last second. Like, "Oh, don't worry about it, blah blah blah." So I go and get in my truck. I cash out, go get in my truck, and pull back around to the side where my dad's parked and start transferring my stuff back to my truck. I decided to take the surface streets home just in case something happened to another tire. Didn't want to go through all that again. Took me about 2.5 hours to get home that way, but I made it. I am here. I'm alive. It's alive. So that's my story. That's gonna do it. Crazy driving, part 2. Thank you all for watching, listening, etc. If you are so inclined, like, share, comment, all that stuff for the algorithms and whatnot. If you are really, really inclined, I have a Patreon. Donations are welcome. If not, no worries. Please just keep watching. My channel is not monetized. It will not be monetized. I will do what I can to avoid subjecting you all to ads because they annoy the crap out of me. I don't want to force it on you. If you like my content, please consider donating. Patreon link will be in the description. Done with the shill. Keep watching. I love y'all. Peace. But so I'm explaining to this new officer what happened and this and that. I can't talk. I keep losing my place. Blah 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 blah. Okay. It's alive. Loud truck.